You're gonna die. Yeah. How not to die fishing kayaks. Hey guys, we're right here in Auburndale, Florida. I still don't know how to say it. I speak Aliex, and it's not in my vocabulary. But anyways, I'm gonna kill his name again. Landon.
But you actually said it perfect.
Landon?
Landon.
London. Hey,
yeah,
London.
Same thing. Hey.
He's been here for like the last 3 years. Every year I come here and we always do this bunch of videos about kayaks. But we got a problem here. See, he loved this boat, the Nucanoe Frontier 10 over the Catch Pwr 100. That's a problem. We're gonna discuss this. All right, you know what? Tell me why.
The reason I like the Frontier 10 a little bit better, for me, growing up, I always like fishing on john boats, and coming to this, it feels like a john boat almost for me.
It feels like a john boat, but what about this? I mean, you mentioned 360C. We got 360C.
They both have 360 seats. I agree.
Now,
but I will say I like this one a little bit more because it does sit a little bit higher for me. I like to sit up high and look while I'm fishing.
It does.
I think they're both great that they have the 360 seats, and I wish a couple more companies would start, adding them on, because I feel like with fishing, the 360 seats are almost necessary.
It is necessary, and I don't see why, unless you, even when you have a pedal drive, when you're not pedaling, it's good to have a 360 seat to move around. You're right. Everyone should have it. I think Feel Free was doing like a mod that you could. It's not out yet. Maybe it's never out, but they were thinking about it. That's good. So I mean, I guess an advantage of this one, you have like an open deck.
Yep.
This one you have the same, but you have a giant. Oh, if you open it, it got open.
You got open. But the nice thing about this one and with this storage is this where if you put your battery here.
Yeah.
Your battery's hidden. You don't have to, you don't have to look at your battery or anything.
It's not gonna get wet. And look at this. It's already pre-wired. And that wire is gonna come all the way back here. Over here.
Comes right through there.
You can just plug in your trolling motor here. You get a transom mount as well.
See, they give you the plug-in too.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So this plug-in is included. So that hooks to your trolling motor to plug right into the back.
Awesome.
They give you all the hardware you need.
Yeah, that's why I like Pelican, because they think of everything. And look at this transom mount. This one is better than this one. And you know why?
This one is hard plastic and it's not the molded of the boat.
Yes, but look at this.
Okay.
See that?
Yep.
Has a little lip. Your trolling motor is not all of a sudden gonna go off and fall into the water. This one
is smooth.
You gotta be careful, or get a plate. You could put a plate. Actually, a lot of kayak companies have plates.
Yep.
Right here. So if you do get this and you put a trolling motor or a 2.5, put an adapter on it. Now look at this. 2 handles on the back, and over here you got just one. But I hate rivets. Do you like rivets?
Rivets, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But if you got to replace them, they're a pain to replace. But I'll tell you, they're strong.
Yeah,
they're very,
strong.
very strong. But if you have to replace them, it's hard. But the funny thing is that for every installation that we do here, guess what we use? We use rivets. Yeah, we use rivets because putting them in the first time, it's not that big of a deal, and they're very solid and secure.
But if you have to change something, that's the problem. Look, they don't have rivets right here.
But all of these, look at the hardware. See all these rivets?
Yeah.
With the rod holders? We always use rivets for the rod holders because they're triple expanding underneath.
I had one pop up out of a rod holder.
It popped off?
Yes.
Then it was improperly installed.
Well, it came like that from factory. It was a lifetime kayak. But anyway.
Oh, that explains it.
Exactly.
If it was a lifetime.
So, look, this handle here, well, I don't know, it's good. You got 2 here, is way better. You got also premium fun, which you do have over there. You got 4 flush mounted rod holders. You don't have that right here on the 10.
Nope.
And these handles are amazing, but you don't have as many gear tracks.
Well, you have a solid gear track on the Frontier. This one, though, but they incorporated the handle into a track. So
it's a beautiful design, and these are hard to break. I actually destroyed not a real one. It was what was it? What do you call that? Like a demo?
You destroyed one?
Yeah, I totally took one of those kayaks that you cannot sell. You have to completely destroy it because it was just like a prototype, and it was hard to break.
Oh.
We actually hit it with a crowbar, and this thing would not even dent.
It wouldn't even dent.
Yeah, and then I ate a sandwich, and it dented.
Ah, I see. Well, we have a special guest here today.
Oh, no way!
Look, we have a cameo from Mr. Chad Hoover here.
What's up, y'all? What's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
I told Alex, I said, I have a special guest coming to help. He's going to help us with the bona fide today, and you didn't realize. I said, yeah,
I was
special guest
fishing
coming.
in Florida. I've known this dude like 20 years. I get a text message, call me. I didn't see the text message, then he calls me. I'm like, hello. He's like, dude, what are you doing in my part of Florida and you're not stopping by the shop? I was like, where are you at? I'm not even paid. I'm doing my thing. I got my head down shooting an episode, and I said, shit, I'll head that way.
Yeah.
Then he told me you were coming. I was like, oh, well, shit. But I'd already committed.
So when are we going to flip the P127?
Whenever you're ready, bro.
We got two here. Can you call the weather gods and change it because it's cold?
You know, I put an order in, but they're obviously not listening to me. I'm on hold with customer service as well. I should be filming a show right now. It's missing and pissing and nasty, and Florida bass just don't like this. But it's funny, the biggest fish we've caught yet has been right at daylight on moving baits. So who freaking knows, you know?
Nobody knows.
Who knows?
It's crazy.
Cool.
So we're actually comparing these two. I love this one. They seem to like this one more because it's rotomolded. What's your take?
Okay, well, since you're going to put me on the spot, I have had a lot of people asking me about the Catch series. And to be honest with you, one of the reasons it was compelling for me to come down here is I'm going to be in Florida for almost a month. And like I said, Dave's been a friend of mine for a long time. When you've been in the kayak fishing industry as long as I have, doing trade shows and things like that, you pretty much know everybody. And this guy's got an amazing shop. If you've never been to the Auburndale area, or honestly, if you're anywhere in Florida, just put it in the GPS and just go, because it's worth coming.
It's worth coming.
It's a true pro shop. He's got the tools. He can do the rigging. You know, you can't really call yourself a kayak fishing pro shop, in my opinion, if you can't rig a boat. The guy's got unbelievable selection. He's got everything you need. In fact, I'm going to pick some stuff up while I'm here. But I get asked about this boat all the time. And I got to be honest with you. I have avoided Pelicans because of the parting line, because of the thermoformed plastic.
We were talking about that earlier.
Because of the tendency for them to crack. And honestly, Dave would be a better person.
I was explaining how
no, but I want to get your real opinion. That's
a true rotomold is going to be a tougher boat.
No, you're getting my real opinion. So Dave would be a better a person to ask this question because he's got to do customer service for these boats. Mm-hmm. The issue that I've seen, and again, sometimes we all go down these rabbit holes of reading online reviews and having, you know, questions about things like this. But for me, here's what it really boils down to. I'm leery of this type of boat for the type of abuse I put boats through. And I'll tell you the number one reason that I'm leery about it. No matter how many times I've done videos on how to strap your kayak down, every redneck out there throws a ratchet strap over their boat and ratchets it down stronger than it needs to be. I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version of how to tie your kayak down. Even if you use a ratchet strap, stick your finger under the strap and crank it down until it hurts, then pull your finger out. That's as tight as it needs to be.
Then it's ready to go.
If you make it tighter than that, it's too tight. And I know a lot of you guys are out there saying there's no such thing as too tight. So go ahead and comment in the comment section.
There is.
But
there is.
It's too tight for a kayak. If it slides around a little bit, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to be so tight. And I've literally watched people tighten their boat up, and they go into a store, especially in the middle of the summer and the boat's hot, and they come out and the strap's loose, and they go, oh man, and then they tighten it again. And then they go, God dang, everywhere I drive, the boat straps keep loosening up. Well guys, the straps ain't stretching. Your boat is soft and you're continuously strapping it. So the reason that I've always been leery of these thermoform boats with a seam is not just because of the boat itself, but I'm always leery of me recommending it. And then there's 1,000 of you knuckleheads out there that are going to strap your boat down with a ratchet strap, pop the seam, and then blame the boat.
Basically, here's what I always tell people is, like, in this business, there's high quality products. You get what you pay for in this business. If it's a cheaper price, there's usually a reason that it's a little bit cheaper than a true rotomolded price, which is cost more to make, but it's heavier duty, so it's gonna probably last longer. And that's just my opinion. Well, we sell boats.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, and this is a tough spot for Dave. Okay, this is going to be a tough spot because you sell boats. So turn around and look at the camera. We want to get that. We want to get that facial reaction. So here's what it's really boiled down to for me. They're not that much cheaper. Okay, so if I'm going to spend the money, why wouldn't I just go with Rotomold? Right? That's how I've always looked at it. The only tiny little saving grace that I can say is if you always take care of the boat, and you always rooftop it, you're a little bit older or you're weaker like Aliex here, right? And you have a hard time getting it on top, the lighter weight might be the biggest selling point. Yep. But other than that, I don't really see it, to be honest with you.
I got a few. Number one is cheaper, like you said. Yep. This thing, when they first came out, it was as horrible as you were saying. The scene was spread apart, but they changed that. Mm-hmm. Actually, this is the strongest point right here. We should take one. I still have a model that we could try to destroy if you want to do that. Because
can we destroy it?
We destroyed it once, but we could keep going at it. What I really like about this...
That's what you need to start doing. Instead of flip that kayak...
Can we just?
Aliex needs to start doing crack that yak. Okay, so he needs to start doing the crack that yak segment. You guys comment in the comment section below if you agree with me. So get yourself some ratchet straps, put it on a trailer, and just start cranking it. See how long it takes. How many cranks does it get to the center of a Pelican kayak? You know what I'm saying? That'd be fun.
A one, a two,
a crank, a crank,
2 cranks, 3 cranks.
So the other issue that I have is I fish a lot of oysters. I fish a lot of river rock, and a lot of people think oysters are the most damaging thing out there. They're not. Shell rock, volcanic rock on the bottom of a river in Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, and the Ozarks, that stuff will shred a boat 5 times faster than oysters will. Oysters grab your boat and stop it.
Yeah.
The shell rock and this volcanic rock at the bottom of these rivers, you slide across it and it's like 4,000 razor blades. I can't tell you how many times I've actually gone through shallow water, felt it, right? Stopped to fish a spot and saw like a wave of shards that match my kayak float past me after the fact. So that's the biggest issue that I see with these boats as well, is I just don't know that it'll 100% stand up to the abuse I put kayaks through.
You gotta put one through.
I understand that, but I don't want to get 7 miles down a river with 40 miles to go to find out, well, I guess it didn't work, and now I got to... So, again,
look, but you turned that into a YouTube video.
Firmly believe, the YouTube video of me getting shot trying to hike out of Tennessee.
Exactly, and you put, I almost died.
Have you seen the Deliverance movies before? We're not talking about Florida.
You can hear the banjo movie now.
Exactly. So, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll commit to putting it through the paces, giving it a varsity go, and I'll let you guys know what I think on my channel, and then we'll compare notes after the fact. So.
Exactly, and go check his channel. I'm gonna link it below. Chad Hoover. You changed your name, right? It used to be Kayak Bass.
It used to be Kayak Bassin TV, which was a little weird for people. And also, I realized that I put a lot of content out that's just good for fishing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a kayak fisherman or not. It's also, and this is going to sound conceited or whatever, when we were looking at the analytics, the #1 searched for term in my channel analytics was Chad Hoover Fishing. Yeah. So I was like, well, if people are searching for me,
guy, man.
I'm just going to go ahead and change the name to that.
My #1 is
Alex didn't even know he was coming today.
We changed that.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
But literally, we've been talking for 5 years about, dude, we see each other in the hallway at ICAST. We see each other, at trade shows. Hey, dude, we got to do something. But he lives all the way in Miami. I live all the way in Tennessee. I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off. He's running like a chicken with his head cut off. Today was the day. I happened to be off the water. It's raining and crappy out. Yeah. I'm about to watch some football, about to watch some scraps with the UFC tonight. So, and like I said, I've been friends with this guy forever.
Long time, man.
Since back when the Eskimos were actually kayak fishing. Can we say Eskimos? We got to say Inuits. Eskimos. Back when the Inuits were.
The original kayakers.
Yeah, when the original, the OGs of kayak fishing.
We had that conversation earlier. I was showing him my old Tim Niemeyer scupper hanging up there.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it up there on the wall, that white one?
I saw it when I walked in.
So, that thing is still here. That's a 1990 or so, one of the first sit-on tops out here. So,
because I made 2 videos. One, I killed pedal dry kayaks, and the other one, I killed kayaks entirely, completely. Mm-hmm. So what is your definition of a kayak? Because it has changed so much.
Here's my definition of a kayak, and here's this. I literally just did this video yesterday for my Instagram channel, and I decided not to post it. This happens every single time I post something. hey, kayak looks really cluttered, man. Defeats the purpose of kayak fishing, IMO. And for you guys out there that are old like me and don't know what IMO stands for, it stands for in my opinion. Well, let me tell you how social media works. You actually have a page if you have an account and the ability to communicate your thoughts. So instead of just poaching other people's accounts and posting your opinion, IMO, why don't you post it on your account and share your opinion, because that's where your opinion goes. It goes on your account. So if you think this isn't a kayak, good for you. What I hate about the fact that kayak fishing in general, or hunting and fishing in general, is mostly conservative, right? America, blue-blooded, hard-working people that literally bash other people for telling them how to do what they need to do, but then they turn around and do the exact same thing in fishing. If you call it a kayak and you enjoy it, it's a kayak, okay? That's how it works. If you love to fish simple, one tackle box, one rod, bro, you do you, right? Don't tell me how to free them. I got this from a guy at a trade show in Wisconsin. He said, you don't tell me how to free them, I won't tell you how to free them. He wasn't talking to me, he was just sharing that with me. And I'm like, you know what, I love that. You do you, how you do you. It's just like the people who go find, they get on a conservative page if they're a liberal, or they get on a liberal page if they're a conservative, and start going at it with it. Just stop. Get that out of your life. This is supposed to be fun. We put the fun in dysfunctional. So if you don't think it's a kayak, then it's not a kayak to you. But if Aliex thinks it's a kayak to him. That's how it works. So for me, where it stops being a kayak is if you stop treating it like one, right? This whole argument like, oh, you have too much stuff on your kayak. Well, a lot of times when you're looking at the kayak from the side, it does look like a lot.
Yeah.
When you look at it from the nose and you see how everything's organized and there's a place for everything and everything in its place, it doesn't seem as cluttered. And look, if I'm going down a river, if I'm dragging the kayak through the woods to get to an isolated spot, I'm not going to have 7 rods, 10 rods, 11 rods. I'm not going to have all that crap on there. But if I'm going out on a lake and I'm going to be out there, and here's another thing. I fish more than you do. Whoever you are, I fish more than you, okay? So if I'm going to be out on a lake 12 hours, 14 hours, we got on the water yesterday at 6:15, got off the water at 6:15. And that's only because that's how much daylight there was, and the park we were launching in was sunrise to sunset. So if I'm going to be out there that long, I want some creature comforts. I want extra rods. I want all of those things, and I've worked my butt off in my life to be able to afford them. If you can't afford something and you're jumping on somebody's social to complain about what they got, take that time that you made that post, stop working your thumbs and work your brain, get a better job, create a better life for yourself. This is America, man. Go get it. And if you don't want it, don't hate on people who do. And I also think it's funny when people say, oh, that battery's too expensive. And they post it from a cell phone that costs $1,000 or $1,200 or $1,500. Really? And they sell 1 billion of these things. You think this really costs $1,800 to make? Shh, please. Now, I get to write it off as a business expense. But a lot of knuckleheads who are posting hate from this thing.
That is made in China, bro.
But a lot of people that are posting, it's an iPhone, but a lot of people that are posting hate about whatever's too expensive, you're doing it from a phone that's way too expensive. So, shh.
Not made in the U.S., by the way.
Yeah. And the whole made in the USA thing is also a big, misconception in a lot of cases. And I hate to say that. By and large, a lot of fishing kayaks are made in the USA because the plastic is molded there and it's assembled there. But a lot of the parts are made overseas. That's why there's supply chain issues. And so you got to be very transparent. And I'm always big on being transparent. And so I just don't like getting into the digs and the arguments and the fights. Look, if you love it, it's the perfect boat for you. I tell companies that I'm affiliated with, I'm not going to tell people to get in a kayak that's not going to suit them. If it's not a great surf launch and ocean boat, why would I tell you to buy it if you're going to end up hating it, right? You're going to be better off. So the best boat for you is the best boat for you. That's just that simple.
Again, do you.
Do you, man. Let everybody else do them. And shh.
I can't believe we fully agree on all that stuff that you just said, and we cannot agree on that this is better than this one.
Okay, Alex, stop. We can maybe say it's as good, or we can maybe say it's comparable, or we can maybe say, maybe now we're getting to the juice of this video.
Yeah.
But you can't say it's better. And if you can justify it, go ahead. I'll wait.
Look, I took my son with me on this boat, and we had one of the best days on the water, for sure. Because They're rare.
That's some feel-good, juju, fluffy, pie in the sky stuff. What's that got to do? And I'm not saying have a great day with your son. That's cool, but I'm going to shut you down for a second. Talk to me about the merit of this boat on the merit of the boat.
Okay, what I love about this boat is it's already pre-wired.
Okay.
You can just plug in your battery right here. Put a nice amp outdoor battery right here. The wire goes all the way back. The transom mount is better than this one because it has a lip. The motor is not gonna fall off. Also, this thing is super light because it's thermoformed, and I feel like what they're able to do is put phones in places where normally you won't be able to over there and make it stiffer. So I love that too. Now the seat, I don't know. I like that one, but there's not a major advantage on them.
Okay, so since we're playing this point-counterpoint game, running the wiring inside the boat, that takes about 13 seconds with a good drill. And I know Aliex may not be as handy as most of us, blue-collar people out there, but you drill a hole, you run the cable through, you drop a cord in there and run it to the other end and pull it through. That's easy, okay? But I'll concede that for the people that are not mechanically inclined, that's a big advantage.
Or the people that don't have time.
Or the people that don't have time. That's an advantage. Okay, fair enough. There's a lot of boats that come pre-wired, but I'm going to give you that one on this one, and that is easier on the Thermoformed. Stay with me, bro, because I'm actually going to give you a big kudo at the end of this because you did bring up something that I didn't think about. All right. So I do like the fact that the boats are cheap. I do like cheaper. I do like it less expensive. I hate the word cheap. Cheap implies a lack of value. It's not worth what you paid for it. Cheap and inexpensive are two words that I really hate because they're misapplied. Cheap, in my opinion, means something is not worth what you paid for it. It's not inexpensive. It's cheap. It's cheap quality. It's cheaply made. Expensive is subjective. Something is only expensive, in my opinion, if it's more than it's worth. That's what expensive is to me, okay? And again, back to the whole cell phone thing. And I also love it when somebody posts a picture or a complaint, a car must cost blah, blah, blah. And then you click on their account just to see what they're all about, right? Because sometimes you do that. And they're driving an $85,000 truck. What? Shut up. All right, so anyway,
it goes back to
the boat.
Because
I have a tendency to be like, squirrel. Anyway, but here we go. Back to the boat. I'm going to save the best for last. The transom mount, that's an easy argument. That's cool that they put it on there out of the gate. Nucanoe makes a clamp-on transom that's pretty good. Hobie makes one. Bonafide, actually one Objective makes one for Bonafide. There's a lot of companies that do that, okay? But this is the biggest point that's going to carry you across the finish line. This is the winner, because he's right, all right? As a big dude, I have flexed the hulls of a lot of boats. And for those of you that follow me, I lost 130 pounds last year. I gained back about 30-ish through going to Vegas for SEMA, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, and then a little bit of extra bourbon. But I'm back on track. I'm going to blow it up again this year. One of the things that I've always done is I've taken pool noodles, and I've cut them, and I've turned them on their side and used a broom handle to kind of hammer them back into the boat, into the places where I'm going to reinforce the hull. If you guys understand what I'm saying, I take a pool noodle and cut it, and then I turn it long ways, wedge it in, and then hammer it to the spots where it needs to go. But you're limited on where you can do that. So if there is a takeaway for a thermoform boat that I'm going to 100% tip my hat to Aliex here, you do have the ability to do a lot of reinforcement under the hull because of the fact that the boat's made in two halves. You can put that stuff in there, and then when you thermoform it and you seal it, you've got the ability to have that reinforcement in there. That is a big deal. Come over here to this Nucanoe, and I'll tell you why that's a big deal. If you're a bigger dude or dudette, and you get in these boats like this, if you don't leave this seat in here, and you're also one of them ratchet strappers, right? If you're one of the people that tightens it down too much, it is going to be impossible to get this thing back in the track because that boat's going to tweak, it's going to flex. But even if not, if you're a big dude like Dave and I are, and you sit in this seat, sometimes you actually get these walls to start to sag a little bit. On every manufacturer. This isn't a Nucanoe thing just because we're using this Nucanoe boat. This has happened with Wilderness Systems boats. It's happened with every manufacturer out there. It's called sag, okay? So what happens is you put, by and large, your weight here as the angler. You sit on this seat. When you transport this boat, don't take the seat out. If you do take the seat out, okay, what's going to happen is, especially for the ratchet strap mafia that like to ratchet these boats down, what you end up doing is you end up squeezing this boat. Think of it like a taco shell, okay? You end up collapsing that plastic. Then what ends up happening is you get a hinge where the boat flexes so much that it gets used to flexing. So then the next time you try to put the seat in, it's going to be next to impossible to get it in there. So another thing that you can consider doing on some of these boats, especially for transport, is cut yourself a 2x4 jig. And a lot of these companies do this for shipping, to where you just lay it in the boat and make it longer than it needs to be. Turn it sideways, put it in there, and just hit it with a mallet, okay, until it straightens out. The friction alone will hold it in place, and that'll preserve the integrity of your hull. But I wanted to point that out on this boat because that is exactly what Aliex is talking about with the reinforcement under the hull. When the hull doesn't flex, it doesn't bring the outer walls in. And when you don't bring the outer walls in, you don't end up with those issues. That's been an issue. The boat that I can think of it the most prominent was the Attack 140. The Attack 140 had that rail on top of the seat. Yeah. And when you sit on that rail, it would actually start to sink the walls in if you're a bigger angler, or if you strap the boat down too tight, the same thing would happen. And again, I feel like every fishing kayak should come with additional reinforcement, especially underneath the standing area. So if your manufacturer doesn't do it, here's a little trick. And I was going to do a video on this, but it works just as well in your videos. Go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart or wherever they sell really cheap fitness equipment and get those yoga blocks. They look like bricks. Turn them sideways in the boat, turn them up, and then hammer them back with a mallet or something like that. And if you need to, get a little piece of short wood dowel and just tap them back in place till you get them where you're going to stand. And that's going to really reinforce the hull, get rid of that flex, give you a lot firmer standing position. And the cool thing about them is if they're too thick for your hull, all you have to do is mark it, take a little bit off at a time, and the way you take it off is an electric fillet knife. Just stand it on its end, take an electric fillet knife and take a little bit off. What I like to do is mark it with a Sharpie and a speed square and just keep taking a little bit off until it fits perfect. That will save your hull, especially if you're a big dude. But again, you got to give him credit. That is 100% the biggest reason why that is an advantage, is they can put that reinforcement inside the boat right from the factory. So
you should definitely do that video.
I should. Yeah, I've done it for years. I've just never thought about. I guess I should do a lot of the stuff that I've been doing for years to just show.
And the title should be, "You better do this, or you're gonna destroy your kayak."
Yeah, or don't flex your hull.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Yeah. How not to die? Fishing kayaks. Here's the title. Here's the title if it's Alex's video. You should be doing yoga. Kayak fishing sucks. Here's the video if I do it. How to reinforce the hull of your fishing kayak. You know, just two different styles. Same message. Same message.
That title will allow me to put a nice female on the thumbnail.
Or what we could do is, I could do like the downward dog and we could use that as a thumbnail. What do you guys think? So, anyway.
Nobody's going to click on it, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Your click-through rate would be horrible. Horrible. Yeah, so we won't do that.
Well, we do have a lot of haters, so maybe we
well, there's that. All right, man. Well, listen, thanks for having me, bro. I'm going to walk around and find some stuff, and if you guys want to talk about other stuff, just let me know.
We got to do a walkthrough of the final version of that boat over there, bro.
It sounds like you don't like it.
What boat?
Yeah.
What boat?
The boat you made.
I didn't make it. I was involved in making it, okay? But the beautiful thing about it is I was not involved enough that I could still be critical if I want to. Yeah. So you guys are going to have to click on the link in the description box when he puts the video up after the fact to find out what boat we're talking about.
That's right. That's more clickbait than anything.
Right. Cool.